Hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene and I am with A Room to Bloom. Today I'd like to speak a little bit about resonance or soul resonance, um, which is interesting because I'm getting reverb. What is reverb? It's when you're getting like this bounce back of vibration. And so um, reverb, when you actually think about that, it can feel a little bit like karma. So what you put out into the world, it comes back, right? Think about an echo. That's what it's like. It's like an echo. So I mean, we took a little sidetrack because I wanted to talk about resonance, but reverb all of a sudden comes up. So with that, the question really is, what are we putting out into the universe on a daily basis? What do we put out wherever we are, right? And as we go through experiences, we grow through experiences, right? And so we could have, say, done something, said something yesterday or even this morning or an hour ago where we're like, cringed, you feel bad about how you handled a situation, right? But once we become aware of it, that's where we can start to come more into soul alignment and really ask ourselves, did I react in a situation or did I respond? Um, that's really the question for the self. And so when we get to, because that feels good, when we are responding more versus reacting, and that would be more in alignment. And when we take that word alignment, we go right to like what aligns with our soul or what resonates with us. And so when people use the words, that's not resonating with me, or that doesn't vibe with me. Think about when there's music and certain notes and or notes sound great together, right? But you might have a couple that you play and there's a dissonance in that. And so it's not vibing well, or putting out a sound that feels in alignment, right? So it just asks us to sit with ourselves a little bit and really just do a check-in. If we do a check-in, maybe once a day might feel a lot for you, but once you get into the practice of it, if you sit with yourself at the end of a week, right? What really resonated with me over this past week as I sit and look at it in reflection, right? And when we look at things in reflection, we start to become more aware of, yes, what aligned with us and what did not, what caused us discord, and what was a soul yes. And once we do that on a regular basis, we can start to see patterns that form that say, I felt that way once, I felt that way twice, I felt that way 3 times, whatever that was. And so you can have an acknowledgement of, you've been ignoring or denying something that has been a soul no for you or not resonant with your soul. Or you could have been putting on the back burner, if you will, what was your soul yeses, like putting your needs last, your desires last, always kind of going along with what others want, if you will. So just being aware of it. And then it's like sometimes, okay, I'm aware that when I have this type of experience, I feel, and that's what we're looking to do, is to feel the resonance, to feel the vibration, not to think it, to feel it. And so I feel this way or I feel that way, and to lean in what feels, when Jesus speaks about all is well with my soul, right? Okay, so we're going to start with a deck here called the Soul Truth. Let's see what comes up that might help you consider what is resonant for you, right? Something ways to look at different things. Okay, where am I called to use my voice right now? So again, if you take, you know, do a look back over the past week, was there a situation? I mean, you can look back today, you can look back yesterday, and then review the week and say, was there a situation or is there something that is been kind of tugging at me, if you will, or tugging at my energy field or tugging at my heart? Where am I called to use my voice right now? A voice for the voiceless, right? You have a soul script that was written to be spoken. Your story matters, and it is time for you to share it with the world. Share your story with at least one person today. Be brave and speak your truth. Your voice will be the catalyst for healing in others. So, very, very powerful message. I have goosebumps all over. I personally keep getting this message about speaking my truth. Um, sounds like one of those social media check-ins, how you feeling or whatever, or what relationship thing, like that type of thing. It's complicated. Anyway, what else do we have here? Okay, am I focused on what I am losing or gaining? Because what we give our energy to will grow. So if we focus on losing, then that can get bigger. If we focus on gaining, that will grow. Are you growing? Are you going through some change? Are you scared to let go because of what you might lose? What if you shifted your focus from what you might lose to what you might gain? Endings are actually new beginnings. Today's soul action is make a list of all the things that you will gain from the change that you are going through. Fill your heart, take a breath, and deepen into trust. Amazing things are happening. I'm just trying to recall a conversation. I mean, not that I'm, going to share the conversation, but yes, in listening, if you have a hard time doing this with yourself, what you might do is listen to what others are saying and ask the question without judgment. What are they afraid of losing or gaining? Because once you do that, one, they're holding up a mirror for you to learn something about yourself. But two, you become an observer of watching them, right, with the same question, what are you afraid of losing or gaining? And now you can maybe observe another situation. And when you can observe that, all of a sudden you can observe your own situation and ask yourself those questions, right? What else do we have here? What boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships? Where do we need to create boundaries or strengthen them? To create more healthy boundaries, we first must get in tune with our own needs, desires, and feelings and believe that we are worthy of them. You guys, that's what I was talking about with resonance. We get in tune, right? We get in tune with our needs, our desires, and our feelings and believe that we are worthy of them. Instead of always getting drug along to what somebody else wants to do, experience, whatever, we start turning in and we say, what resonates with me, right? I'm tuning into me. It doesn't mean you don't care about others. It means that when you fill your own cup because you are in soul alignment or soul resonance, it's easier then to turn around and fill another's cup, right? So in your relationships, it is essential to know where they end and where you begin. What's coming to me is there is a song I saw from an old television show called Nashville, and it's called Fade Into You. Fade Into You or Fade Into Me, and I don't know who wrote it, but you could go and listen to the words and think about any time when you've seen relationships where maybe you had a friend, a sister, or somebody, whoever, brother, And they kind of, did their thing. And then they met somebody, and all of a sudden, it was like they didn't do things with their friends anymore. They didn't um, do their own hobbies that they were passionate about, because everything became about this other person's stuff or their whole world, and they just kept going along with it versus saying what aligns with my soul, right? Again, this is not about creating division. It's about understanding that we all have value and we are all here to have different experiences, yet we're all kind of headed in the same direction, right? So when we separate our energy from others, we gain clarity about what we want. Okay, so this can be, so when on your spiritual journey, if you are put into what is considered an isolation phase, that can be because maybe that was happening. Of course, we have this crossover, right, in relationships. But if it goes like this, right, it's like we are all living in the body of God, but we are still individuals in the body of God, right? So honoring our individuality, honoring the gifts that each of us were given. So again, when we separate our energy from others, we gain clarity about what we really want. So when someone says, I need some space to figure some things out, they might just be trying to figure out what they really want. Then we stop doing things that no longer align with ourselves. So I have a friend who, great friend, right? Always knew the kind of music I like. And when we were kids, we'd go to certain types of concerts or whatever. But as I got older, I started realizing that if I was going to go to concerts, I would go to the ones that really resonated with my soul. It had nothing to do with her. And she was growing older too. It was like, yeah, I get it. When you're going to have certain experiences and you have so much time or whatever it is that you're working with, when you choose what aligns with your soul, it feels great. So at some point, we weren't doing that type of thing anymore together. So it says, then we stop doing the things that no longer align with ourselves. If you are an empath, you can still be compassionate toward others without taking on their stuff. It is safe to trust that you are not here to fix anyone. Today's mantra is, I have everything I need within me now, and so do they. I am worthy of my needs, and I set boundaries based on what is best for me. Again, it doesn't mean you don't care about people, doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that sometimes we got to work on filling up our own cup. And this comes to the words, know thyself, right? When Jesus talks about that, know thyself. This is when you're learning about yourself. Instead of being pulled around to what everyone else wants for you or wants you to do, right? Again, what boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships? Sometimes that might just look like, hey, I need a couple of days to regather myself. I might need a day just to paint, to clear my mind. I might need a day for no phone calls, right? And that doesn't mean from anyone in particular. That means from everyone, right? So whatever that is, to regain one's sense of peace and or balance. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a deck here. We're just going to have those 3 cards. And we're just going to take this tarot deck and see what comes up again. I'm going to turn these over to the main part again. Where am I called to use my voice right now? So I'm going to take 3 on each of these and let's see what comes up. Okay, so the first one is, this is the 2 of Wands. It is fire energy. Planning, expecting results, progress, decisions, discovery, and leaving home. Where am I called to use my voice right now? Are you planning something? Making progress, making some decisions, discovering new things, and or leaving home. So we're going to do that. Okay, we have the Lovers card. So you may need to speak to a love or lover. It says love, harmony, a choice, union, values, alignment, partnership, the strength of two, relationships, and passion. So I have to cover this up a little bit here, but it is the Lovers card, right? So this could be someone who is overseas or across the world, like a choice needs to be made of some sort. The next one is a King of Wands energy. Okay, someone who is a strong leader, has power, charm, courage, who is a visionary, mature, and career driven, someone who is very successful. Okay, so again, could be a strong leader where you are being called to use your voice right now. It could be possibly helping others who are overseas, or someone that you love who is overseas, right? The Lovers is Gemini energy, just so you're aware of that. Gemini, let's see. Actually, I just want to check something. So today, I have to look at the date today. It's July 16th. I just want to see what we are in here right now. No, so we are in Cancer energy right now. Okay. So let's just continue on here. Let's see what else comes up. Am I focused on what I am losing or gaining? What would you like to show us about this? Okay, so interesting that this came up. The Seven of Cups. This says there's a lot of options in front of you and it can feel overwhelming. Okay. It can be opportunities that are coming in, choices, right? Am I focused on what I'm losing or gaining? Wishful thinking, options, fantasy, and or daydreaming. Okay. All right, let's keep going. What else here do we have here? Okay, interesting. This is wishes being fulfilled, the Nine of Cups. It's like make a choice, and here it's saying your wishes are being fulfilled. It's happiness, satisfaction, emotional stability, comfort, and confidence. So focusing on the joy brings you exactly that in your life. It expands that. Okay. And the next one is a Knight of Cups. So there could be someone who's coming forth with some type of an offer of love or emotional love. And this knight could be feeling, am I focused on what I'm going to lose or gain, right? But the Knight of Cups is someone who is creative, romantic, Prince Charming, if you will, beauty, following their heart. They're sensitive, and it could be a proposal headed in one's direction, right? Whoever this is may have been feeling overwhelmed or confused, but they want their wishes filled or want to fulfill another's wishes, right? So coming forth with some type of an offer. Okay, the next one is what boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships. Okay, so this has something to do with work. Okay, and this has been regarding something that you've been building, okay? Planning, progress. This person leans on their shovel to reassess the work that they have been doing. Reflection, they're reflecting on it. The investments or the results. Looking at a long-term vision. Now, I literally just did a short and I pulled an angel card, and the card that came out was speaking about, there's a term, the long goal. I think it's called the long goal. I might not be saying that right. But anyway, it's that same idea. What boundaries need to be created or strengthened around what you have been creating, right? But it says within my relationship. So that could also be partnerships around work, okay? What else do we have? Yeah, okay. So again, this is Pentacles and the first one is Pentacles. So this is about the earthly, our earthly things, right? So this indicates someone feeling insecure, under hardship, poverty, financial loss, worry, and or need, right? So let's just go a little bit further about this here. Hold on. Yeah, like, okay, interesting. Because the card is, it's the Eight of Cups, and it's saying walking away from something or someone, right? What boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships? So it's like work you've been doing. Has someone wanted to leave you out in the cold with work that you've been doing? Um, the Eight of Cups also talks about escapism. Are you escaping? Is someone like escaping a situation or abandoning a situation, walking away, choosing freedom and leaving behind, taking action and making a change in your life, right? Walking away from something that is no longer serving you, or serving your highest and best, or that it's no longer in soul alignment. What aligned with you at one point in your life may not align with you at this time. And this doesn't mean that things have to end like on a bad note, if you will, but it does say I'm looking at where am I called to use my voice right now? And am I focused on losing or gaining at this time? Do I need to set some boundaries within my relationships? Where am I being drained? Right? Where am I being drained? And what does this have to do with my work and or my earthly whatever I'm building? The pentacles represent that which is here in the physical world, right? The cups represent our heart, emotions, right? Walking away from something, because this card says relationships here. You could be walking away from a relationship that is no longer serving you. Okay. I don't know. I threw something away and I just realized that I actually missed the garbage can, and what it is it's like a clear cellophane, and so it's like seeing through something. Seeing through something. Seeing throughly or clearly through something that makes noise, right? It's just making noise. Okay. I'm just going to split this. Well, actually, let's look what's here on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, so this would indicate that there has been some type of disagreement going on. Now, this is like a subconscious thing, and it's like it could be covert disagreements going on, and you're aware of it, right? So, obstacles, arguments, competition, tension, and disagreements, right? And so you could be called to use your voice in a situation like that where people are disagreeing about things. This disagreement is causing someone what is considered a dark night of the soul. They're definitely being put into their thoughts, having a hard time sleeping, nightmares, anxiety. They're feeling overwhelmed, worry, fear, depression, insomnia, trauma, and or despair. I'm just going to let it be with that. Okay. And let's see what else comes out here. Okay. What I'm showing here for like this would be considered an outcome card. It is the Four of Cups, where someone is being handed something, but someone's got their arms crossed and they're going, no. Right? They're not even seeing it because they're focused on these three cups down here. So they're being handed something by the Most High, but they're saying no. Upright, it represents meditation, a re-evaluation of a situation, seclusion and contemplation. That's exactly what this person is doing. They are re-evaluating. They're reflecting upon what they have been building, right? So a time to go into meditation, pardon me. I just am being called to split this deck. I'm going to shuffle and split this one time here. Yeah, Queen of Cups. Okay. So we have this Queen of Cups energy stepping forth. This is someone, I almost said, when I said this, meditation, I almost said medication. And that's why I stopped for a minute. Because I was thinking about, has someone been using medication? And what comes up here is this Queen of Cups energy. There's someone here that is a Queen of Cups is someone who is very compassionate, very calming, right? They're helpful, they're emotional, they're stable, they're healing energy, they're caring, they're intuitive, and they're receptive, right? The Queen of Cups, again, represents the water, represents the emotion. Okay, so that's in the where I split the deck on. I'm going to see, yeah, guess what? The card right after it is the King of Cups. So we could have a King of Cups who is a good leader, right? Where am I being called to use my voice right now? Tolerant, passionate, diplomatic, balanced, considerate, and supportive. This King of Cups may be called to use their voice in speaking with this Queen of Cups. Helping others to reevaluate a situation, to relook at a situation that has involved seclusion and contemplation, could have pulled back for a while to gain clarity on a situation, which could have been this, right? Reassessing in a work situation, feeling left out in the cold, and making a choice to finally walk away, to choose freedom, to leave behind what is no longer serving one, to set boundaries, either to create them or to strengthen them. Okay, we're going to take a couple angel number cards as well. Let's see what comes up that would be helpful for you on your journey. What would you like for us to know right now? I just have to move these over. Where am I called to use my voice right now? 125, be serious. So it could be a serious situation. Invest in yourself earnestly, right? Invest in yourself. Soul resonance, getting back to that. Your angels are reminding you that your interests and goals must be taken seriously. If you put them on the back burner, the universe will too. Those are the exact words I used, right? Not putting your stuff on the back burner. Reflect now on a promise you have made to yourself recently. Reaffirm your commitment to yourself and to that promise by repeating this mantra a few times until it begins to sink in. I am worthy. I am worthy. 125. One of the things I want to point out about this number is they are in progression. 1, 2, and 5. It says I'm making progress. Think of like the game Leapfrog, right? I'm making steady progression, but then it's like you take the first step, you take the second step, and then you have a leap, right? You're leaping further ahead because why? You got serious about yourself, investing in yourself, in your dreams. Okay, what else do we have? Ooh, you guys, 111. Screenshot. I just had to see what time it is. Okay. Pause your thinking and hit the reset button. Okay, that's coming up here 3 times. Reflection. What's he doing? He's pausing. He's reflecting on his work, saying, do I need to reassess? Let's look at where this is going. I'm getting goosebumps on this. We had the other one here, the reevaluation card, reevaluating where life is, right? People oftentimes will say somebody has, they'll say the 7-year itch. What are the other terms? That's 7-year itch, midlife crisis, different things like that, right? But people recognize that something is greatly changing in their life, in their self, and their energy, and they're like, I need to do a recheck here of what's going on in life, right? In my life. Instead of looking at everyone else's life, it's like, there used to be this thing on Facebook and it said, Why are you so worried about what I'm doing in my life? You should be worried about why you're worried about what's going on in my life instead of yours, is what the message was. So screenshot 1111 or 111, pardon me. Pause your thinking and hit the reset button. Think of the universe as taking a screenshot of your frame of mind right now. Everything that is going on, all your thoughts, your feelings, your goals, and your dreams are going to be replicated. Get on a high vibe quickly so you can manifest your best life moving forward. Recall a positive memory that stirs an emotion such as love, peace, and our gratitude right now in full and living color. What's coming to me is the country song that says you should have seen it in color, where this gentleman's talking to someone about pictures. They're looking at old black and white pictures, and he says, you should have seen it in color, right? Like how exciting that was. Sorry, I just want to see if I have this book here. Yes, I do. Hold on. Okay, so we will use that too. All right, and we're going to go ahead and take one more here. $3.15, declutter your life. Create mental space. Your state of mind is a direct reflection of your physical space. Your angels are signaling to you that your work needs to be done here. That work needs to be done here. The time is right to declutter your space as a way to also declutter your mind. Take an inventory of the room that you are currently in. Is there one thing that you can clean, store, donate, recycle, or throw away? So I pulled this card yesterday, and this is a pretty thick deck, right? And I've only used it. I used this deck once today, and this is the third time. So this is coming up. Declutter your life. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling messy, whatever you can do to declutter a bit, your mind will start to feel like you could concentrate more. Okay. All right. So the one thing I said I was going to do is, this is a book on raising your vibration, your frequency. It's by Melissa Alvarez. Let's see what comes up. There's a whole bunch of ideas in here. Let's just pick one. Your life is your choice. Make it shine. If you do your best in life, that's all anyone can ask or expect of you. But only you really know if you're giving your best or if you're doing just enough to get by. It's up to you to determine if your fullest potential is to have the stamina and the get up and go to do what is required, which is interesting because we get back to this being serious, right? Because it is your life. No one's going to come along and do it for you. If you're not able to do that, you'll have issues throughout life. You may not be living to your fullest potential if you are not making your life shine. If you choose to be less than you can be, you're missing out on the big part of potential life lessons in this lifetime. Make a point to really live a full life. Do the things that you want to do, and don't give up until you achieve your goals. Always have a positive outlook instead of a negative outlook. Just that change will cause you to excel. The higher your vibration, the more your light shines into the world, drawing people to you. It's all about making the most you can of the life that you have. Life is short, so don't let it pass you by because you are afraid to take opportunities or let fear keep you from being your true core spiritual self. Shine your light into the world and make it a better place. Now, I have goosebumps as I was reading that, that last little bit. It's about making the most of you can of the life that you have. So, I'm sure we've all been in different various stages of our life where you go and go and go and go and go, and you're just like, okay, I'm ready for a rest, right? And that's what Jesus says. Come to me, all of you who are tired, right? Overburdened, come to me and rest, which means lean into the word, lean into God, lean into the lessons, right? But then it doesn't mean quit life. It means take a rest. And so sometimes it's just saying, yes, I might be tired, but I'm not going to quit. I'm just taking a rest. So that means honoring your body when you're tired. Take a nap and don't feel guilty about it, because you know when you wake up, you know that you are your better self, your best and most rested self, right? So you don't feel so fragmented. If you're handling a lot and have a lot on your plate, um, it just helps you to be better about it. So we have a few messages here about be serious about your journey, taking action, um, but resting when you need to. Reevaluate where, what's going on in your life. Are there changes that you need to make? And where may you need to set up some boundaries and or to strengthen ones that are already in place? Again, um, really ask yourself, what have I been focusing on? Have I been focusing on losing or gaining? If you're focusing on losing, that is not going to help raise your vibration. So we want to focus on what can we gain in our life. What are we gaining now? I want to be delicate with those words as well, because this isn't all about um, what can I get necessarily physically or materially. That is not what I mean. But what do I get? Like when you spend time with someone who, you know, like you do have a soul resonance, you have enriching conversations that go back and forth. It maybe isn't a one sided conversation. Um, just asking yourself that, in each situation, is this resonating with me anymore? Because we outgrow things, we outgrow people and situations, because we are evolving. We're here as spirits having this human experience, and we are evolving our soul. So something that we have had the lesson on over and over, it can feel like a revolving um, cycle unless we are ready to take a new step, right? And learn more. Okay, so that is the message for today. I want to say thanks for joining me. I hope you have an amazing day. Take care.